Okay. So it's the second question that we have to discuss. The following spreadsheet segment shows a bill for the item purchased by Akila from stationery shop. Right? So it says in the B column, there is item, C column, there is unit price, and D column quantity, and E column has the value. Write the correct formula that can be used in cell E3 to calculate the value of blue pens purchased. So you can see the unit price is there, quantity is there, and the value is taken by multiplying the unit price into the quantity, right? So the first question is asking, write the correct formula that can be used in cell E3. E3 means right over here. This is E3. To calculate the value of blue pens purchased. So to take 30, 15 should be multiplied by 2, right? So that is something easy. So you can write it equals C3 star D3, right? That is going to be your answer for the first one, right? So the question got 5 parts, so 2 marks for this. Then the second one, the following shows the steps that are required to copy the formula entered in cell E3 to cell E4 to E8, right? Move the cell pointer to what? So they are going to copy the things in cell E3 to cell E4 to E8, right? That means to the rest of the cells over here, right? Not actually until the E9, from here to here. So move the mouse pointer, move the cell pointer to cell what? E3, right? Move the mouse pointer to the bottom of, it should be the bottom of right corner. That is where you are going to find the fill handle of the cell till shape of the pointer change into a plus symbol. While pressing the left mouse button, drag the pointer to cell what? E7, right? So A is going to be E3, B is going to be right, C is going to be E7. So let's cross check with the marking. Yeah, E3 right and E8. So 2 marks are given if all 3 are correct. And it says in case only 1 is correct, 1 mark, 2 is correct, 1.5 marks, all 3 are correct, then only you are getting 2 marks. Right, so the third one, what they're asking is write a single spreadsheet function. Single spreadsheet function, that's it. Spreadsheet function that can be used in cell E9 to calculate total value of the bill. So right over here. So if they are asking for a function, it's going to be equal sum. So the value should start, the range should start from E3 until the E8, right? So E3 colon E8. You can write the same function as sum E3 comma E4 comma E5 comma E6 comma E7 comma and E8, and you can close the brackets. And the fourth one, Write the function to find out the most expensive item based on the unit price given in column C of the spreadsheet. Write the function. Yeah, they haven't asked about name of the function. So they just say write the function to find out the most expensive item. So the function is going to be the max. And in marking scheme, they just go on with the answer max, all right? But since they have said to write the functions, not the name of the function, it doesn't matter if you write the entire function, all right? So they're asking for a most expensive item. So to write the most expensive item, to take the most expensive item, we have to take the unit price, this list, with the max function. So it's going to be starting from C3, right? So either max is correct, or if you say equal max, so C3 colon C8 will give you the marks. Again, 2 marks for the third part and 2 marks for the fourth part. Akila purchased 2 file covers. However, by a mistake, the quantity was entered in cell C7, cell D7 as 0, as shown in the above spreadsheet. Write the address of the cells in which values would be automatically updated if the correct quantity is entered in cell D7. So here, this is the place where he went wrong. He took 2 file covers, but he recorded as a 0. So if you change this into 2, then this particular cell's value is going to be changed, as well as this particular cell's value is going to be changed because it says the sum of those values, right? So it's going to be cell E7 and cell E9. So updating values will happen in cell C7 and cell C9. I'm sorry, not the C7, it's E, yes, my bad. E7 and E9, since it is in the E column, right here. So again, that's going to give you 2 marks. Who got 10 out of 10 for this? It's an easy question to take 10 out of 10 people. Okay, brilliant. Okay, Himidu, that's good. Minha, Saran, Vedan. Some other is there. Onetra, very good. Right, moving to the third question. The school canteen sells a number of food items supplied by several suppliers. The canteen maintains a database with 3 tables to store the food items currently in stock, their suppliers and item purchased from the suppliers as shown below. So they got 3 tables: the food item table, supplier table, and the purchase table. So food item table explains the food items that they have with the stock. Supply table explains suppliers who are supplying the foods. Purchase table explains how the purchasing has happened, like what is the food that they got from which supplier, right? So they are asking, list 2 primary keys with corresponding table names. Now, if you look into the food item table, you can easily recognize item ID as the primary key of food item table, because these values are unique, right? And if you think about the supplier table as well, then again you can easily recognize the supplier ID is unique, so that can be taken as the primary key of that table. And if you think about the purchase table, supply ID will not be able to take alone because it is repeated in these instances as well as in these instances. Item ID goes the same way, right? So both could be taken together, could be taken as a primary key, because you can find S001 and 1003 anywhere else, right? But if you think about the practical scenario, sometimes it is not possible as well, right? So it's better like we go with the food item table and supplier table, right? Will be concrete answers, right? So let's go with the marking scheme as well. So yes. Yeah, they were talking about the food item table, item ID, supplier table, sub ID. And be sure, if they ask you to mention about the table and the key, make sure you will mention the table and the key, right? Don't just come only by mentioning what's the primary key or just the table. You won't be getting any marks, right? So it should be the primary key with the table, right? So 2 marks have given to that. Okay. So the next question, a student goes to canteen and buy 1 fish bun and food drink bottle. What table or tables need or needs updating? Now what he's doing? He's going to a canteen and buy 1 fish bun and a fruit drink. That will directly affect on the stock. So definitely it will define or it will affect on food item table. Supplier table is not going to change. It's not regarding any supplier. And purchase table is not going to change because it is not, again, something regarding purchases. So it's only food item table. And write down the relevant update record. So how? It says 1 fish bun and food drink they have taken. So fish buns, already there are 15. So updated record, it will be 1001 fish buns, 14. And a food drink. Food drinks are 1005. Fruit drinks, it's going to be 18. So that is how the updation is going to happen. So it goes the same way, and it gives you 2 marks. Right? So 1 mark for the, oh, hold on. It seems to be you are getting 4 marks for that. Yeah. So it's like 2 marks for this and 2 marks for this. And this got 2 marks as well. And the last one says the canteen decided to add cutlets as a new item and purchased 25 of them from a supplier, Mina, on the date 29/13. What table needs updating? So they directly ask. From their question, we can understand there will be more than one table to be updated. So it's the purchase table that's going to be updated, definitely, because a purchasing has happened. And it's a new item. So if it is a new item, it needs to be updated in the food item table as well. A new entry should be there, right? If they purchase an existing one, then we can go with an update. But since they are purchasing a new one, new entry should be inserted, right? So the tables are going to be purchase table and the food item table that needs to be updated, not the supplier table, because that supplier is already there in the database. Who is Mina? So then they are asking how the record should be updated. So how it's going to be updated? It's a new item. So in the item ID, people hold on a minute. Okay, so the tables are the purchase table and the food item table. How the updating is happening for food item table. So for food item table, the record is going to be like this: 1006. The item is cutlets. And they are taking 25 of them. So 25 over here, stock. And purchase table, that's going to be updated. So like 2913. The supplier is Mina. So there it should be a 002. The item is 1006. And the count is 25. All right, so 2 marks for this and 2 marks for this. So the marking scheme shows it's going to be like this. Right? So database questions will be like that. right? So who got 10 out of 10? Oh, great. Great, great people. Right. So here we go. So the third question, not the third, actually, the fourth one. Consider the following statement labeled from A to G. And yeah, they have given some terms at the end. So it says the first page that is displayed when a website is accessed is called a home page. Do we have the home page? Yes. So this is going to be the answer for A, home page. And blank are used to link web pages. Yeah, hyperlinks. This is B. And blank contain frames, labels, etc. could be used to develop a web page. Yeah, that is called a template. The C. A collection of web pages relating to a topic is generally called a collection of web pages relating to a topic is generally called a website. So this is D. Software that are used to design, create, and publish websites are called, according to this, they got only authoring tools, right? So then for E, this is the answer, authoring tools. F, a blank can be used to view web pages created in HTML. So we use web browsers. So this is F. And G, the blank instruct the web browser on how to display a web page. It's the markup text, right? So this is G. So let's cross-check it with the answers. Yeah. Yeah. So it goes away. So mark your things and marks are given, like 5 marks are given. So 1 is correct, 1 mark. 2 are correct, 2 marks. 3 are correct, 3 marks. And 4, 5 are correct, 4 marks. 6, 7 are correct, 5 marks. Okay. So moving to the second part of it. Consider the HTML source code and its corresponding output below. The source code has several missing tags indicated by 1 to 5. Select the correct tag from list given below. You are only required to write down the label and the corresponding HTML tag. Yeah. People, when you are answering these kind of questions, now since the number is in between the angle tags, don't put angle tags in your answer, right? They only ask for the name, or like they only ask what is represented by the number, right? So it is not going to include the angle tags in it because angle tags are there. Okay, so the output is there. So introduction to flowcharts. This one. Hold on a second. Okay, so introduction to flowcharts and pseudocodes. These two things are in big letters, so bigger fonts. That gives us from the H tags, right? So it's better we go with H1. Sometimes they may go with H2 as well, but 1 is going to be the H1. And after the flow chart, the rest of the things are at the next line. So that can be done using the BR tag. So this is going to be BR. So paragraphs are there. So the number 3 is staying inside the list. So it says OL type equal 1, that means ordered list. Type equal 1, start equals 1. That means it's a list of 1, 2, 3, 4s, and it starts from 1. And later under the LI, there is the, come on. People, sorry for these disturbances. Excuse me. So it is an OL, ordered list. So there are list items, right? And they have these number 3 tags in between these terminator and process and all these things. And yeah. What is so specialty regarding that? The bold faces, no? Okay, let me guess. List item is there. Yeah, I think it's bold that they are trying to take. Let me refer it from here. Whether we can. Yes, it seems to be bold. Yeah. Yeah, it's the B tag that they are using, but it's not very clear that the terminator words are bold in my copy, right? But what they are saying is like these parts and this process, IO, decisions, connectors, flow lines. Those are taken as bolded ones. So 3 is going to be bold B. And here we have answered for the second one, so we don't need to worry about that. And what we have to worry about is this. So type equals circle. Circle is something that we can take to create an unordered list. So 4 is going to be a UL. And the fifth SRC attribute is there to indicate this. So fifth, it stands for IMG, right? So those are the things that you need to figure out. So if I go with the marking scheme, so 1 is H1, right? And BR, 2 is BR. And for the third one, it is bold tag, the B. The fourth one, it is UL. And the fifth one, it is IMG, right? So anyone who has tried it and had full marks for that? Oh, no one has tried the HTML. That's an easy one. Oh, never mind, never mind. But it is something easy. Ah, okay, Dimitri. Great, great, great. Is it the ball tag that you missed the word? That's quite unfair because we can't see it in the paper, but never mind. It's like you have taken 10 out of 10, right? Okay, so let's go with the other one. The fifth question. Write down the main difference between a compiler and an interpreter. So the main difference in between a compiler and an interpreter, compiler converts the entire source code into the machine code at once and then run it. So the interpreter will convert one line of a source code into the machine code, then start running the program. So in simple terms, interpreter converts or interpreter translate the source code line by line. Compiler translate the entire code at once. So because of that, interpreter related programming languages will start execution quickly compared to the compiler programs. But if we consider about the total time that the program is taking to run and like start to the end, comparatively it's the compiler who do it in a much faster manner. Right? පටන් ගන්න එයාට වෙලාව ගියාට it can run the code as quickly as possible. Right? එයාට compile කරන්න යන වෙලාව විතරයි වැඩිපුර වෙලාවකට යන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ එක සැරේ execute කරනවා. But interpreter is not like that. Reading the first line, convert it, execute it. Reading the second line, convert it, execute it. Right? So it may take time. Right? If you think about the total time. Right? So the answer that is given in the marking scheme goes like this. Compiler translates the high-level language statement into machine code by taking the entire program as an input, while interpreter does the same by taking one statement at a time. Right? So like you don't need to write the other entire paragraph over here. In case if you got it wrong, I'll give you a minute to copy this thing down. Is there anyone who is writing this down? Okay. So since no one is writing that down, you go forward. All right. So the second part, Saran Python is a interpreter one. Java is a compiler related one. Okay, right. So in the second part, it says, consider the following flow chart that shows the algorithm for drinking fruit juice stored in the refrigerator, right? A good algorithm. So 6 symbols labeled from A to F are missing the flowchart, missing in the flowchart. Write down the correct symbols for them. You are only required to write the labels and draw the correct symbol against them. Okay. So let's draw it over here. Begin, it should be in an oval shape, inside an oval shape. And go to the kitchen is there. Open refrigerator is there. So this is a decision. So B should be inside a diamond shape. And again, and this has 2 lines. That is how we are recognizing it is a diamond shape. And when it comes to here, it has another 2 lines. That means this is also a decision. Right? And when it comes here, it has again 2 ways to derive. And again, that means this is a decision. Right? So for end, there will be an oval shape. And for this end, is going to be an oval shape. Right? So it is simple as that. Right? So for A, E, and F, it's the oval shape. For B, C, and D, it's the diamond shape. Right? So that's what they have said. A, E, F, it's the oval shape, and B, C, D, it's the diamond shape. Right? So 3 marks for that particular task. Then in the third one, draw the relevant flow chart segment to represent the following. So they have given you a pseudo code. They're asking you to draw the like the flow chart. Right? Again, they are saying flow chart segment. So that means you don't need to indicate start and the end, since they are talking about a segment. Right? So you can just draw the segment. So input temperature, that's going to be inside an input box or like a parallelogram. There you go. Then the condition is there, it's a if. So the question that you are going to ask is temperature larger than 32 Celsius? The question mark should be there at the end. So if it is yes, they say output hot. That means this is hot. And else, that means on the no path, they are heading to another condition. Himidiri, we should do a like if they say code segment, if they said the segment, you don't need to. Segment then you don't need to do it. Right? Okay. So in the else part, they are finding another condition. So that means on the no part, they have to draw another diamond shape. And the question that you are going to ask is temperature larger than 20 Celsius? Question mark should be there. So it has a yes and no part. So if it is yes, you have to output average. If not, you have to output cold. Now, then after it's the smaller if is ending, that means right over here. Then after this big if is also ending. So it may goes like this, right? Or else in a much simpler way, you can take this to over here as well. Right? And it's better you indicate it is came from somewhere, because we don't know what the start is. So a flow should be there at the top, and the flow should be there at the bottom as well. Okay, people, is that clear? Everyone? Okay. Let's cross-check with the marking scheme. Yes, there you go. Yeah, see, to take it to a single output, they have mentioned it, and take in an input. So altogether, they are given you 4 marks. Right? So who got 10 out of 10, people? Yes, 9 out of 10. Ah, okay, Himidri, it's a nice one. Okay, brilliant. So the 6th one. So it is talking about the following diagram shows the correct posture that can be adopted to avoid repetitive stress injury, RSI, when using computers. Some of the aspects that need to be taken into consideration are noted, and others have been labeled from P to T. Right? So explain what precautions should be taken in relation to aspect label P to T. Okay. So P is talking about the distance in between monitor and the eyes, right? It should be greater than 70 centimeters. As I remember, let's cross-check whether it is 70 centimeters. Oh, they are saying like keeping suitable distance in between the eyes and the monitor, right? So Q, it's the correct back support, like or having a backrest or using the chair which has a backrest. And R, you should be seated properly, right? S, what they are saying is like your legs should be touching the ground properly. And T, it is identifying that the placement of the monitor should be lower than the eye level, right? So these are the instructions that they have given. So go through whether you got it correctly. And the R says chair with correct appropriate height, right? Not the seating matter. Right, so for each and every correct answer, they have given you 0.5. So 2.5 can be taken. Ah, no, it's 3 marks that they have given. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, what they have said is like 1 is correct only 1, 2 is correct 1.5, 3 is correct 2 marks, 4 is correct 2.5, and 5 is correct 3 marks. Okay. So moving forward, they are saying briefly explain how information and communication technology is used in the following areas. Your answer should include one example for each: telemedicine, government to citizen service. Yeah, let's go with the marking scheme. So in the telemedicine, you have to say it is the use of telecommunication and information technology in order to provide clinical health care at the distance by medical professionals, right? So using and like some particular explanation should be there. And in your explanation, you should tell that the telemedicine is given remotely, right? And there should be some experienced person by the patient to provide telemedicine, but patient itself will not be able to take the telemedicine, right? And all these equipments, when you are providing the telemedicine, you need some particular video conferencing tools, some audio conferencing, right? Some internet connectivity, right? Those things are a must, right? So that should be described properly, right? So if you have gone with the explanation, just see whether you got it properly, and if you got anything wrong or any missing points are there, just mention it. I'll give you a minute to go through. Okay. So moving forward. The government to citizen services. Right? So you have to clearly specify that the government to citizen services or government to consumer services are given by the government to their citizens in an online manner or an electronic manner, right? So if any point is missing under that definition, you are going to lose the marks. So you should say it's the government, and in the other end it's a citizen or the consumer, and they are receiving the service in an electronic manner. Right? And you can give the examples like obtaining the vehicle revenue license or the obtaining gazettes and some regulations, right? So they have given over here. Referring the government website, obtaining exam results. So those things will be the examples for the G2C services. Right, so 2 marks for that as well. So 2 marks for this and 2 marks for this. This we got 3 marks. So it says, assume, the next part is saying, assume that a new computer laboratory with internet connection has been provided to the school. Provide one suggestion that you would propose for each of the following to look after the laboratory. Improving physical security. So to improve physical security, you can use a lock and some proper grilling, or like properly closed doors and locks, all those things, right? Here it comes. Securing access to the lab. Hold on, people. Securing access to the lab using a secure locks, doors and windows. Using a security person. Using UPS. Using CCTVs. Lightning arresters or the voltage stabilizers. Or you can say surge protectors. Right? Protection from environment factors such as rain, humidity, dust. Those can be taken. One of those can be taken as the logical security. And the next one is protection against malicious codes. That can say installing virus guards, having a firewall, right? Having pop-up blockers, installing antivirus software, right? And updating the virus guard properly, like having it up to date, right? So those things can be taken as the protection from malicious softwares. Improving logical security. So logical security can be given by giving username and passwords, right? And keeping backups can be taken as logical security. So you have to give only 1 point from each category, which gives you 3 marks for the 3 points that you are introducing. So altogether, it gives you 10 marks. Yeah, the 7th one, Nasir was asked by his teacher to develop a computer-based library information system for his school. He listed down the following activities labeled from P to U in order to develop a library information system. Write 2 types of feasibility. Feasibilities Nasir should consider about the proposed library system. Now, part A, you can't understand that we are not talking about the feasibility studies now, right? So you can omit that if you are really tried this question. So it is asking write 2 types of feasibilities. So there are 4 kinds of feasibilities that we were talking, not we actually, the syllabus were talking earlier. You can say economical feasibility, financial feasibility, technical feasibility, organizational feasibility. And part B is asking name the stage of the system development life cycle indicated by the activity with label R. Study the current manual system using different data collection techniques. So what is that? That is preliminary investigation. So let's see how the things have went with this. Yeah. Oh, they have taken as system analysis. It's the, yes, study the current manual system using different data collection techniques. Yes, that could be taken as a system analysis. And in C part, they are asking, write 2 data collection techniques that Nazir could use to carry out the activity with label R. Now that makes me a doubt. Data collection is not happening during the data analysis. That's awkward. Anyway, so these are the way we use to collect the data, the interviews, the observation, the document observations, questionnaires, right? Those kind of things. And the D is talking about name the stage of the system development life cycle indicated by activity with label T. Write the computer program using a selected programming language. So it is the time that the system is being developed. And E, it is asking write an activity Nasir could do after completing the stage labeled as U. Test the program for errors and deploy the new library information system. So if the system is tested and then it is being deployed, the last one that we have to take care of is the maintenance. So the system maintenance should be done. So let's go with the marking scheme. Yeah, it's the system maintenance. So if you got these things as the answers, you can have 1 mark for each answer. So like you can take the marks for the first part, people, part A, since we do not know about the feasibility studies. All right, moving forward. So they are asking, traditionally organizations have used printed documents and telephones as media of communication. Presently, many organizations use email and other internet-based services for communication. Write down 2 advantages of using emails. So the cost and the efficiency can be taken as the concrete answers. Other than that, you can have these things. It is fast, it can have attachments, it is very cheaper or almost free. Even you can send multiple copies at once, right? So the physical security is guaranteed. You can access it anywhere at any time, right? And you can use it at any place you want. And we can, since these delivery reports and all these things are there, we can have the idea whether the message is being transferred properly or not. right? So those kind of things can be taken as the answer. So 2 marks for any 2 answers. And the next, write down 2 disadvantages of using emails. Now, there are very minimal disadvantages. You need an internet connection to do this, to use this, right? And the things like viruses and malwares can be spread through the email. There is a potential of spreading through that. And email accounts can be hacked, right? And there will be an additional cost for internet connectivity, right? And computer literacy level will be a problem. If you don't know how to send an email, it's going to be a problem, right? And it is possible that we send the email to a wrong recipient, right? But rarely happens, but it is possible, right? So those can be taken as the answers. So 2 marks for 2 points. And the very last question, write down 2 internet-based methods other than email that organization could use for communication. So you can use IR chats, right? Or like the chats. You can use video conferencing. You can use teleconferencing. Instant messaging services you can take. And social media or social networks, right? So there are many. Network group, news groups, forums, blogs, websites, FTPs, and all these things can be taken as the answers, right? So it will give you 1 mark, like giving 0.5 for each. So see how much you got out of 10 and see whether you got all the marks you need, and send me the final marks as well, people. And now I'm going to show you the marking for the 2014. Is there anyone who has not done with 2014? Anyone? Oh, okay, Minha, that's a good mark. Keep it up. Oh, very good, Onetra. Saran, you didn't. Okay. So, all right. And Minol. Okay, so then let's try the first 10 questions then, people. Okay, I'll show you the 2014. Hold on. So you may try the first 10 questions there. Right, I'll give you 10 minutes. So here comes the 214. Start doing the questions. So I will scroll down appropriately. Now it's 410. I'm going to discuss it by 420. Hurry up, people. I'm scrolling up. In case if you want to see the upper questions, just let me know, people. If you are done, just let me know, people. So I'm scrolling this up to see the 9th and the 10th questions. You got only 2 minutes. Then after we can discuss. Okay, are we done? People? Saran, Minul? Do you need more time? Okay, Saran. Okay. Saran, let me know when you're done. I'll give you a minute. Okay, so let's start. So the first question says, in the evolution of computers, the vacuum tubes was replaced by the transistors, and the transistors was later replaced by the integrated circuits. In this process, A of the computer increased while B is decreased. So what is increasing? Efficiency is increased, physical size is decreased. So the answer is going to be the first one. Efficiency increased and the physical size decreased. Second one, consider the following devices: digital camera, speaker, and a hard disk. Which of the above are usually used as an output device or devices of a computer? Now, it's a little bit confusing when there is digital camera, right? But yeah, speaker is definitely be an output device, and hard disk is not going to be an output device. So B should be in your answers, C shouldn't be in your answer. So because of that, we can leave out the first and the fourth, right? So digital camera. Now digital camera is used as an input output device, right? So when we are connected it with the computer, we connect the digital camera to the computer generally to manage or like to send the data from digital camera to the computer. So we can take B only as the answer. Let's check it with the marking. Hold on. Yeah, second one, it is 2. Right. Then the third, which of the following is correct? During the program execution on the CPU, instruction and data are brought from the main memory. Kind of correct. Instruction are brought from the main memory and data are brought from the secondary storage. And not like that. Instruction are brought from the secondary storage and data are brought from the main memory. Not like that again. Yeah, it's going to be the first one, people. Instruction and data are brought from the main memory. If you yeah, hold on, I'm getting questions. Hold on. What Minul is asking, the second one, can it be A and B both? Yeah, Minul, A is a little bit confusing answer, right? So, but as I told, they can take A as a when we are like taking a digital camera alone, when we are communicated with the computer, we don't take the outputs from the digital camera. We may transfer some files into the camera or from the camera, but at the end of the day, we can't generally take it as a output device, right? So for that reason, yeah, view photos, Minul, like connecting to the computer, it's not going to view the photos of the computer from the digital camera. We just connect the camera to the computer and we transfer the photos into the computer, then we view it, right? So in that aspect, it's kind of an input device. The much better answer is like if you take digital camera, yeah, if you take digital camera alone, then we can take it as input and output device, right? But when it is connected with a computer, that is going to be the problem. And Saran, so you're asking the third one is not the second answer. Instructions are brought from the main memory. Data are brought from the secondary storage. So like when a program is in execution, both data and instructions are in the main memory. They'll load everything to there and take things from there. So when it reaches to the, before it reaches to the CPU, things are coming from the main memory. So to the main memory, things can be travel from the input devices, from the storage devices. Yes. So the third one, now in one scenario, like කොතනක හරි එක වෙලාවක ඔය දේවල් වෙන වෙන තැන්වල තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? But if you take the CPU alone, Saran, yeah. Now generally this is what is happening. Before things get into the CPU, everything travels to the main memory. So it can be traveled from an input device or from an storage device, right? So we are executing a program which is in the hard disk, means the operating system will load that program into the main memory, right? So whatever the things which is given from the input devices again comes to the main memory, like the von Neumann architecture describes, right? So we can go with the first one. Right. So the fourth one, cousin who lives in Kandy has created a digital art as an image file on his computer. He wants to share it with his 4 friends living in Colombo, Jaffna, India, and Japan, like 4 different geographical locations. Which of the following method are suitable for cousin to share the image file with his friends? Yeah, definitely not from the A, because it says using file transfer software over a LAN. No, LAN means a local area network. Local area network is very small in size, which cannot be spread over the countries. So because of that, A is wrong. If A is wrong, first answer, third answer, fourth answer, everything is gone. So it's only B according to the answers that they have given using emails. But C is also a good way of doing it. It takes time, but still it can help to share. Copying the file to 4 USB flash drives and sending them by post to his friends. Of course, it will take some time, but it will give the chance to share, right? But according to the answers, it's the second one that we can go, right? So the fifth one, which of the following is equivalent to the decimal 131? So if you do the math, you will find 131 is equal to the second answer. So 131 divided by 2, it's 65. 1 is remaining. Yeah. And if you divide it by 2 again, it is 32. 1 is remaining. If you divide it by 2, 16, 0 is remaining. If you divide it by 2, 8, 0 is remaining. Dividing by 2, 4, 0 is remaining. Divided by 2, losing the space. It's 2 and 0 is remaining. If you divide it by 2 again, 1 and 0 is remaining. So the answer is going to be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and 1, which is the second answer. Right. So it's 432 people. So we have discussed up until the 5th question. So by next week, we can finish the entire paper. So please get ready with it, both first and the second papers, right? So I'll see you on next week for the very same time, right? And we'll discuss the rest of the things in 2014. Right. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a very nice weekend. I'll see you on next week for the very same time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, people. Seran, is it so? Have to check it because it's not very easy to edit the PDFs.